Okay, so I'm getting ready to start this Seat Concepts turnover here. And unfortunately, as you can see, Seat Concepts doesn't offer the full seat with the pan. So you have to take apart the original seat and transfer the Seat Concepts back onto it. For other bikes that I've had, you can buy the Seat Concepts with the pan, so you actually have two separate seats. That way, if you want to sell it, you don't like it, you can just switch right back. So, if you have to buy just the pad and the cover, and you have to place it onto the original OEM pan, you really got to make sure that that's what you want to do and that you're making the right decision. But, so in order to do that, all these staples, you got to take them out. You got to pry them out with a screwdriver, pull them out with pliers, get all those out, remove the top, remove the foam and everything, and then place the new Seat Concepts onto it, and then staple everything back down again. It's not that hard to do. It takes a long time, but let's get to it. The one good thing about keeping the OEM pan is that you keep your adjustability. So you're not going to lose the ability to raise and lower the seat. Silver lining, I guess. So some of the tools you're going to need to do this job are some flathead screwdrivers, needle nose pliers, some kind of knife, and most importantly, spray adhesive. You're going to want the new foam to stick right to the OEM seat pan. So you're going to need some spray-on adhesive. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just prying down the screwdriver in between the staple and the seat and kind of prying out. And then when I get all of them like that, I'll just come back through with the needle nose pliers and pluck out the rest of them. They're actually coming out super easy, so this shouldn't take too long. Check that out. Can you see it? There's less than 500 miles on this bike, and the stock seat is already ripped somehow. Now that is a high wear area, but that's still pretty disappointing. Once you get all the staples out, you're going to have to do a little Easter egg hunt and make sure you find them all, because the last thing you want in your tire is a staple. So before I take all the staples off, I want to show you a mod that's completely free. I've done it to a couple different motorcycles, and it actually works really well. If you don't want to pay for a new seat from Corbin, Seat Concepts, wherever you want to get a seat, if you take out all the staples and you leave the front ring here, and you peel back your cover, what you can do with the stock foam is you can either make slashes in it in a grid pattern, you can drill holes in it, and what that'll do is it'll actually soften it up. So if your stock seat is way too stiff and you want to do an easy mod for free, try that out. I've done that on dual sports where you're basically sitting on a 2x4. So make sure you leave the very front stapled in so that it lines up perfectly when you go to put it back on. But just go ahead and drill a whole bunch of holes or make slash cuts into a grid pattern. It'll soften the seat right up for free. Pro tip, wear glasses. These things like to fling out of here. It was a long journey, but we made it. No, actually, that wasn't bad. That's probably one of the easiest I've ever done. And now you just peel off the stock foam, and I'm actually blown away. It is not stuck on. I thought it was going to be a pain in the butt to get this off, and I thought I was going to destroy it, but fully intact, clean seat pan. I'm so happy. So if you can see it a little bit better now, this is the back of the seat. And the reason I went with the Seat Concepts is because this seat has this natural up angle at the back, and if you're sitting on it for a very long time, this does start to wear on my lower back. You start to feel it. So what the seat concepts is supposed to do is supposed to eliminate that natural curve and make it a lot flatter. So I'm praying that's the case, because after 100, 120 miles, this really starts to irritate my lower back. So if you've never installed an aftermarket seat, do not remove this plastic that is your moisture barrier. The seat is not 100% waterproof. It's water resistant, but if it sits out in the rain for a long period of time, it will get your seat foam wet. So do not take this plastic off. And obviously, before you use your adhesive, always do a mock-up. Make sure everything fits well. You can trim this plastic if you need to, but just make sure everything fits on there nice and even before you stick it on, because this spray-on adhesive is no joke. Now, in order to get a proper bond, you are supposed to spray both surfaces, both the seat pan and the foam. Now, please clean your seat pan first. You can see all these fibers. Just brush them off, get them out of there. That way it'll help stick. Also, the spray adhesive will go everywhere, so make sure you're putting something down before you do it. You'll thank me. And also, please wear gloves. Also, one thing, don't forget ventilation. This stuff is nasty. Open windows, open doors. Do it outside. I had to open my garage door. Ventilation. Also, what you can do, some people do this, they spray a light layer on the foam to hold down their moisture barrier. You don't have to do that, but a lot of people do. It does make things a little bit easier. These are 5/16 staples. And as you can see, if I can line it up properly, there's a heck of a difference. So these are what you want. Get yourself a handy little stapler. Sometimes the seat pan is really tough and you may need a pneumatic stapler, but I've done a couple here and it seems to be going in just fine, so I'm going to continue on with this. So you want to start by getting your top done first so you can stretch everything out so you can tell that it's lined up. And then you just got to make your way around. You got to make sure you pull everything nice and tight. And then once everything's in place, you can just go at it and get all your staples in. Unless you've done this 100 times or you're a professional, you're probably never really going to get it perfect. Alright, well, it's certainly not perfect, but let's see how it fits. Well, there she is. A lot of these wrinkles will work themselves out when it stretches, I hope. But the most important thing, let's see how she feels. So right off the bat, I like the feel. I like how it's shaped. It's more of a bowl shape that you fit down into instead of, straight and tapered off on the sides. Now, one thing you got to remember when you're first sitting on an aftermarket seat, whether it be Seat Concepts or Corbin, they're going to be firmer. That's done on purpose. It's supposed to be better for the long haul, and it's supposed to break into your specific weight and curvature. So don't just sit on a Seat Concepts and think, oh my God, that's terrible, it's too hard. It will soften and it will be much better for the long haul. Overall, very happy. Super easy install. Went way smoother than I thought it was going to, especially since the stock foam wasn't stuck on. But I'm excited to get some miles on this seat. So let's ride.
Well, after a couple miles, I am pretty happy with this Seat Concept seat. So it is a little wider in the back, and then it does come in and almost feels a little thinner in the front, so I can actually get my feet down a little easier. You know, your legs aren't spread so far apart when you're up near the tank, so it's easier to get my feet down, which is a huge plus, especially for people that are short. So I gotta say, some people don't like the price tag, but for aftermarket seats, Seat Concepts is very reasonably priced. And I think it's an amazing upgrade for, what was it, $350 I think in the end. So definitely do that. Seat Concepts is the way to go.